considering how long. Ho ho ho! Merry Christmas, everyone! It's Clay Ranger 143 here, along with.
Hey, driving nobody a one. Actually, in the car right now, so.
Oh, he said his name for once.
Oh! 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 Damn!
Okay, and we're also joined by
Radioactive Girl 00.
And since today is Christmas Day, why not do another radio reviews episode? Why don't we do the last radio reviews episode of the decade of the 2010s? And that would be one of the most weirdest looking handheld radios in existence. Basically, the cousin to the Midland 74-250C, the good old Eton Grundig ESP2100. So, why don't we...
ESP2100.
That too, or the Elon Musk Cybertruck 69420. But we'll get to that in a minute. Anyways, so let's go ahead and tie our asses to our chairs and let's begin. First, a little overview on the Eton Grundig ESP2100. This radio came out... Yes, that too. This radio is basically a fucking banana on steroids with a mixture of crack cocaine and some LSD, and also a mixture of mushrooms, because you have buttons on the fucking back of the radio. But anyways... As Nicholas commits Forza in real life by revving his engine to almost 7,000 RPMs, let's get serious. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at this radio. This radio came out in 1999. That's how old this thing is. It's 20 years old. Yeah. I think this is a 2001 model because the default time when this radio gets reset is 2001. The default year is 2001. But this radio originally came out in 1999. And it clearly shows, because just look at this. Look at how weird this thing looks. This thing looks like the banana dildo that a certain friend of mine from Switzerland used to fucking show off. It's that bad looking. Look at this. Now, I don't know what Eton was thinking here, but maybe they thought it would look cool. Kind of looks very versatile, you know? Kind of looks versatile. But it's no better looking than the Midland 74-250C, which looks slightly better, I must say. But this is a little bit more compact. And actually, I actually have the original belt clip that came with this radio, because this radio actually, you know, everything's all here. Except it didn't come with an adapter for it. But no.
Hold up 1 second, Michael. So, this fucking great Subaru, he was in the turn lane, he decides, oh, fucking you're like a fucking retard! You're in the fucking turning lane, asshole! Oh, you're thinking to tell me to turn right? Fire, you son of a fucking dick!
Oh my god! Apologies for the racist language from Nicholas over here. But anyways. Bitch. Anyways, back to the... never mind. Back to the Eton ESP2100. As you can see on the front, it has a very massive display for a handheld radio. You have the old Eton symbol on the bottom, and you have the, in silver lettering on the bottom right corner, ESP2100. You have the speaker grill on the front as well as the speaker. We have 15 cutout holes in the front, so where you can see the speaker. On the top, you have the NOAA button and the volume up and down buttons, as well as the AM/FM radio button. Yes, I said that. This little handheld banana actually has AM/FM capabilities, making this the first ever handheld radio that I have ever reviewed that has had AM/FM capabilities. And also the first AM/FM...
At the time, it was 1999, right? And they were developing it, so
Yeah.
they probably thought, let's make something revolutionary, or at least attempt to, by adding AM and FM radio into a fucking...
Oh, wow, look at this. We're already getting down into the cheap build quality. This plate just came off. We're already getting into the cheap... We haven't even gotten into the build quality yet, and it's already falling apart.
Okay, we need the fail horn.
I already played it, but anyways,
Oh, okay.
Anyways, oh, it just snaps back on, but anyways. On the side of the radio, you have the 6-volt adapter plug. I don't have a 6-volt adapter for it, but I do plan on getting one soon. And on this side, you actually have a 3.5 millimeter stereo headphone jack. This thing actually has a headphone jack, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Eton and Grundig can do that, but the fucking Apple decided, let's move the headphone jack on the iPhone 7 to be revolutionary, motherfuckers. Yee-hoo, bitch.
Oh my god. Nicholas, stop pulling a Brandon Crocker.
It's a free country. I can do what I want.
Anyways, on the side you have the antenna, and on the back you have the belt clip. And by the way, if I take off the belt clip, which just flew out of nowhere, on the back of the radio you have 4 buttons. The display button, the recall button, or STR, and the tuning buttons for AM and FM. And somebody legit wrote CH2 on the back of it for channel 2 with a marker, like a Sharpie or something. Like, I'm not even kidding. Look, they literally wrote channel 2 on the back of the radio. Like, here, let me just adjust it in the light, but look at this. Look at that. I have no idea. I gotta rub that off with some rubbing alcohol. It's already coming off anyway. Yeah.
I just really hope that my remarks are going to be censored.
They are. They are.
Good.
On the bottom you have the battery door, which actually slides out and opens up. And
Oh.
What did you say, girl?
Oh.
What did you say?
I think just like how the thing is on the REGMs.
Oh my god. Ladies and gentlemen, Nicholas Miller. But anyways, as Doug DeMuro would say, and if Ari could stop having an orgasm into her microphone like she's imagining Damien right now, that would be pretty nice. That would be pretty Grace. Grace! I fucking give up. But anyways, as Doug DeMuro would say, we are... Oh my fucking god. Jeez. This isn't Forza! This isn't Forza, Nicholas! Stop revving your engine to 7,000 RPMs! Anyways, as Doug DeMuro would say, we're gonna get into the cool quirks and features of this rustic 1990s banana-shaped radio and basically give it a full in-depth review, or at least I'm gonna try to. So anyways, Let's go ahead with the first feature, which is not the button beeps or the siren test, because this radio has neither of them. So,
Hey, Michael,
anyway.
Michael, I'm gonna get off the call for now. I just went to my mom's.
All right. So, anyways, let's go ahead and get started with the first feature, and that is unusually the antenna. All right, let's get down to business with the antenna. Now, you'll notice at first glance that it looks pretty simple, but it actually does something that you might not expect for such a little handheld like this, a basic handheld with AM/FM. It's not like how you do for Damien, okay, Ari? Hits her every time. Giggity. Anyways, it does something that you might not expect. You see these grooves on the bottom row of the antenna? That's not just for looks. Watch what happens as I turn it. You see that? This antenna actually unscrews from the radio, and it can be replaced as... Why are you talking about your private hobbies on the fucking video? I mean, you said it! Anyways. But yeah, this antenna can actually be replaced as one solid piece in case it gets broken. But I'm pretty sure that you can't find these anywhere now. So this is a pretty unique feature in itself already. This antenna gets a decent reception if you're in a mountainous area like me, but if you're in an open field, forget it. You're gonna get every station imaginable with this thing. It has a nice metal feel to it on the bottom where the screw is. Feels pretty sturdy, and as you can see, there is the screw, or what's left of it, on the actual radio itself on top of it. But yeah, this antenna does unscrew from the radio to allow direct replacement, and you can actually, if you could actually make a external antenna and hook it up there, if you really wanted to, that is. If you wanted to get a better signal, but that's kind of like something like a scanner would have. Not a basic handheld, but that's pretty cool that this radio has it. It really is. And this thing, keep in mind, this is an Eton. That's how versatile Eton was and how revolutionary they were, even in 1999. Despite being owned by a different company at the time, which was Grundig. This is literally considered a Grundig, but it's an Eton badged product. But this just goes to show you that Eton really tried to revolutionize the weather radio over the years. There's a lot more radios like this that are pretty unique, and this is just one of many examples. And I'm holding it in my hand, and that's what she said. But anyways.
Whoa, Michael, no need to take that out of context.
You probably would have done the same anyway. You have no room to talk. Oh, shut the fuck up. But anyways. I'm not. Anyways, we're going to get into the first bad feature. One of many bad features that this radio has. And that would be the setup. All right.
CAE blood warning. Oh, sir, Dr. Emergencies now. Warning? Got it.
But anyways, on to the first bad feature of the Eton ESP2100, and that is the setup. Now, you notice that this radio has very few buttons. Very few. It only has like 8 buttons. That's it. But here's the problem. Because of the stupid design of the fucking belt clip that this radio has, if you put it on the radio, okay, like if you're going to carry it on your belt, if you have it right here, the buttons on the back are practically blocked from being pressed because the stupid ignoramus belt clip is in the fucking way. Why would they design it like this? I have no idea. Look, the buttons are this belt clip. If you had it on, it's physically blocking the back buttons, therefore interfering with your setup. So in order to set up this radio, you need to have the belt clip off. If I can get it off with one fucking hand. Oh my god, this thing is so annoying. This thing is so annoying. That's one thing I hate about this radio already, was the damn belt clip. That's the one thing I hate already. But yeah. Not only that, but when you do get the belt clip off and you see these back buttons, you're gonna ask, what the hell do you do with this? I actually had to refer to the manual right here online just to figure out how to set this thing up. But eventually I got the hang of it. But for new users, it's still confusing. Even if you know how to set it up, it is still very confusing because these buttons are so limited to what they do, to one specific function. Why can't you make this one the menu button and this one the select button and put other buttons on the side of the radio right here? You got plenty of room right here. You got plenty of room here on both sides where these black areas are. You got plenty of room there. I know those are for rubber grips and all, but still, you got plenty of room for buttons on the side there. But no, they had to make it limited and put it on the back and the top. Way to go, Eton Grundig. And when you do set it up, here's how complicated it is. Let's set the date. Okay? See, when you press it once, you have to press and hold it down for 2 seconds. Then press it again and again and again until you get here to the calendar. You have to press it 3 times just to get to the calendar. And once you're on the calendar, it gets even more complicated. Because the back buttons right here, the plus and the minus button actually control, yeah, and it backs out after 10 seconds. But once you're in the menu, look, I skipped too far ahead and I went into the county codes. But anyways, 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. But yeah, I have no idea how to set up this thing. Well, I do, but okay, there we go. You have to press it 1, 2, 3 times. But anyways, the tuning buttons are actually the ones that control the date, the month, the year, the time, everything pretty much. And because you can't see them, you have to memorize where they are. Like the minus is on the left, the plus is on the right. You have to physically memorize where the buttons are, and that's kind of hard when you first get this radio and you have no idea how it works, just like I did when I opened it earlier as a present for Christmas. I had no idea what the hell I was doing with this thing. And on top of that, it gets worse. Watch how you set the same codes. You edit the same codes with the plus and minus buttons for tuning, self-explanatory. But let's say you accidentally press this button right here because you can't see them. And you accidentally move to the next digit. And then if you press this button right here, the recall button, it just skips over to the next county. By the way, this can store 10 county codes. Or 9 county codes, I'm sorry. But because you can't see these buttons on the back, you have to physically remember what order they are in and where they are just to set this thing up properly. Yeah. That is pretty complicated, especially for new users who would just be getting this radio now, back in 1999, like I just did 20 years after this was manufactured. And then you had to find out through the online manual. And even with the manual, it took me over 30 fucking minutes just to figure out what the hell I was actually doing with this radio. And it gets worse as we get into the next feature, and that is the build quality. Okay, the build quality on the Eton Grundig ESP2100. As you saw earlier, this top plate just came right off, and it still comes off with relative ease. But why? This thing should stay on. I know it's an old radio, but if this thing looks this decent condition, you would expect everything else to, last just as long. But this plate is flimsy as all hell. The button sheet is also very flimsy. They feel flimsy. I wish you could feel this button sheet right now, just so you can get an idea as to how bad this feels. And on the top, you can see the exposed switches. Yeah. Now, you can do the same with the Midland HH54 VP, the EH55 VP, etc., etc., etc. But the fact that this one you can just pull up with your fingernails with ease is just mind-boggling. Because this radio has lasted this long for 20 years. Imagine when it was new and it still did that. Oh, and by the way, the next complaint I have already is the damn belt clip. Because, look, if I put it over, I already showed it again, but I'm not putting it on. But, okay, now it's not on. It's not on the radio, but I already mentioned how I hate this accursed belt clip because it's blocking the rear buttons from being accessed. So that's already a design defect. Oh, and here's the thing. It's still happening to this radio, but it is very dodgy in terms of power. Because when I tried to put batteries in this radio and plug it into the adapter using my 12996 adapter, because that one is 6 volts and this one requires 6 volts. When I plugged it in, it did not power on. Neither did the batteries work. The batteries did not work either. It would not power on. I thought it was dead. Like, literally, I legit thought this radio was a dud. I thought it died. And then I playfully tapped the front of the radio. All of a sudden, it turns right on with the display shining bright, 12 a.m.
What now?
Yeah. I guess the radio needed a little wakey-wakey. But I legit thought this radio was dead when I got it and unwrapped it this morning on Christmas Day. I legit thought this radio was dead. I was upset until it actually worked. It's still kind of iffy on the power. Because if I... Listen, there's the display, by the way. Still kind of weird and flickery. Not doing it as much anymore, but it was doing it before. But yeah, another thing that's pretty shoddy about this radio is that sometimes, or is that the rubber grips on the side are already showing signs of wear, and this radio has barely been used. Not to mention, the headphone jack is actually broken off. The headphone jack cover, at least.
Hey, so it's like an iPhone 7 now. It's an Apple product now. They don't have a headphone jack.
No, the actual jack is intact. It's just the cover.
Oh, the cover?
Yeah, then again, that's understandable because it's old rubber. But everything else I just pointed out, yeah, that's pretty bad. I know this radio's old and everything. But it even looks flimsy. It doesn't even look all that sturdy. It looks cheaply built. Overall, I guess it's okay, but it's mostly negative. As we get into the next feature, I'm going to go outside for this, because we are going to actually test the reception. Okay, I am now outside with my laptop, so they can see what I'm doing here. But anyways, we're going to get into the reception of the Eton ESP2100. Now, like I said earlier, with that stupid belt clip interference, yeah, these back buttons cannot be pressed, but I took it out, and now we can access the tuning buttons. So, to turn this thing on, you actually just simply press the NOAA button. And already I'm receiving WXL42. If I go over here, there's WXL56. That's a better signal. Now, to change the channel, you hold down the NOAA button. Okay? You hold down the NOAA button, and then you use the tuning buttons on the back of the radio. There's KHC27. Let me move over here.
This transmitter is serving Rock Hill and the Charlotte metropolitan area.
Pristine
and the surrounding
signal.
Piedmont of the Carolinas.
You can't go wrong with that.
The current time is 1:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. These are the 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time observations for the Carolinas. On Wednesday, the high and low temperatures for the 24
There's WNG 538.
a.m. this morning. No rain fell at any of the was 57 degrees.
WXL 70.
36, and the relative humidity 45%.
Absolutely nothing on Channel 5. You can't get anything on Channel 5.
Tuesday, sunny.
There's KJY 85.
This is the NOAA Weather Radio All Hazards, KJY 85.
Tide Pod!
Broadcasting from the Iredell County Emergency Communications Tower in Mooresville, North Carolina, operating on a frequency of 162.4.
4.0 megahertz!
This transmitter is serving the foothills and southern Piedmont of North Carolina. The current time is 1:56 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. These are the 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time observations for the Charlotte metropolitan area.
And on Channel 7, we have WXK47 in Bristol.
Favoring dry conditions and above the temperatures. 59 at Columbia and 59 at Charleston. Once again at 1 p.m. at the Rock Hill.
Yo, we have another special guest that just joined. It's EAS Alert 88.
Yo, I'm one half of them.
But yeah, in case you don't know, JT, we're actually doing a radio reviews episode on the Eton ESP2100, aka the banana dildo lookalike. I mean, what?
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
But anyways.
I must have walked in at the wrong side.
But anyways, as I was saying about the reception, it is very good actually. For a radio like this, it's very good. The signals are clear. Only sometimes it'll be staticky. But most of the time you get a pretty decent signal, I must say, on this. Because of this somewhat light duty antenna, I want to say. Because But yeah, that's a good reception score for this type of radio. But now we're going to get into the speaker quality real quick, so let's go ahead and do that. All right, let's test out the speaker quality on the Eton ESP2100.
Light and variable wind. The extended forecast for the listening area. Friday, mostly cloudy. Highs in the lower 60s. Friday night, mostly cloudy. Lows in the mid-40s. Saturday, mostly cloudy. Highs in the mid-60s. Saturday night, mostly cloudy. A chance of rain after midnight. Lows in the lower 50s. Chance of rain 50%. Sunday, rain likely. Highs in the upper 60s. Chance of rain 70%. Sunday night, rain likely. Lows in the mid-40s. Chance of rain 70%. Monday, partly sunny with a chance of rain in the morning, then mostly sunny in the afternoon. Highs in the upper 50s. Chance of rain 40%. Monday night, mostly clear. Lows in the mid-30s.
Speaker quality is actually pretty decent on this radio. Pretty decent. Sounds a bit tinny, but also fairly bassy. Kind of like a little bit in between. Especially for a small speaker like this and for a radio of this age, you got to give it some slack. But it sounds pretty cool. But we are far from finished of the rest of the features that this radio has. We are far from finished. As we now go ahead and... Oh, we have another special guest. It's NorCal Dude 599.
What's up?
Hey, welcome back.
It's actually California, dude. 959. That's who it is.
No, it's NorCal Nude 550. All right. We're going to get into the AM/FM capabilities of the Eton ESP2100. Yeah. Remember how I said earlier, this little handheld has AM/FM capabilities? I wasn't kidding.
You mean AMS capability they shoved inside of this thing's tiny little asshole?
Yes! Exactly that. Precisely that. But anyways, let me switch over to WFAE.
Province of Fishing Company. Farmers may have trouble keeping pace with the expected music this year. Merry Christmas. Shares the heart of Christmas from Luke chapter 2.
Oh, WFAE is not coming in that good.
So far, casualties according to an statement saying that 18 militants were killed. This is the latest in a series
Looks
of
like
attacks that
WYFG is coming in better.
in recent months.
BBC correspondent Ishaq Khalid. Authorities in Lakeland, Florida, still investigating after 3 adults were killed in an apparent murder-suicide. This is SRN News. Consider our good news memory verses for this week. Luke 2, verses 15 and 16. And it came to pass as the angels were gone away from them into heaven, the shepherds said one to another, Let us now go even into Bethlehem, and see this thing which is come to pass, which the Lord hath made known unto us. And they came with haste, Mary and Joseph, and the babe lying in a manger. Luke 2, 15 and 16. Our good news memory verses for this week.
This isn't a good time of year for some.
From Keys for Kids Ministries, here's Greg Yoder with a Keys for Kids Parent Minute.
You've heard the song. It's the most wonderful time of the year, right? It's true for some.
And yes, it also has AM. Let's tune to WTOE, which is in Spruce Pine. AKA the motherfuckers who failed the monthly test for North Carolina, but yet they tested just fine 2 nights ago! Those motherfuckers.
I battled a number of them to the ground. We were taken away for questioning. Things
this.
Iran has shut down access to overseas sites in several provinces. It comes a day before possible protests. They would coincide with the 40th day since anti-government protests that began after the government tripled the price of gas. Alaska Senator Lisa Murkowski says she was, quote, disturbed to hear Majority Leader Mitch McConnell say there would be, quote, total coordination with the White House for the impeachment trial of President Trump. Murkowski told KTUU the Senate should step back from being hand in glove with the defense. Mona Kosarapti, ABC News.
Having a good account.
That does not sound like WTOE because they would be playing oldies right now. But I did get something else on 1470. But anyways, we're going to get into the next feature, and that would be the thermometer. Yeah, the thermometer. Okay, the thermometer. Yeah, this tiny little scanner type handheld weather radio, AM, FM, whatever, banana brick has a built-in thermometer, just like the Radio Shack 12522 and the 12259. Just like it. Because as you can see right here.
I thought the banana radio was that really old Midland one.
Oh, you mean the 74250C? You haven't seen anything yet. Look how this looks. Look at this. Look at this. This might as well be its competitor.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But, yeah, the thermometer. As you can see, it is currently reading 71 degrees, which is bullshit. It is not 71 degrees outside. I can tell you that right now. If it was 71 degrees, I'd be wearing a fucking tank top right now. But I'm not, am I? Because it's not 71 degrees. The thermometer is mount.
It may not be 70 degrees over there, but over here in Memphis, it's 69 degrees. Warmest Christmas in the past 37 years.
Oh, hey, that's the perfect temperature for you and Damien to fuck. I mean, what? Anyways. But yeah, this radio basically has the same mechanism, or if not a similar one, to that of the Radio Shack 12-259 and the 12-522. The built-in thermometer is mounted somewhere on the front or sides of the radio, possibly. I guess the reason why it's saying 71 degrees is because it's reacting to my body heat, because my hands are warm from being inside all the day. All of the day's time. Blech. I can barely speak today. I've made a lot of grammatical errors, and I'm sorry about that, but this is just, when you're holding a rare radio like this, it gives you chills down your spine. It messes with your mind in the best way possible if you're into the same hobby that I am in. But yeah. The thermometer actually collects samples from the current temperature on the exterior of the radio every minute. So I'm going to place it over here. Hopefully it doesn't fall. Okay, we're good. Now you'll notice, because it's in the sunlight, that means it'll probably, excuse me, increase the temperature. Because when I was reviewing the 12-522 a while back, across my house in that forest over there, I don't know if you can see it. Oh, you can barely see it, but that forest right there where my finger's pointing. A while back, I reviewed my 12-522. Remember when I teleported back to my room? But, okay, it just changed now. It's saying 69 degrees. Hey, it's the same temperature that Ari uses to fuck Damien! I mean, what? But yeah, it reacts to body temperature if you hold the radio for a prolonged period of time, naturally. Just like the 522 does. Because the 522's temperature sensor is also very sensitive to heat, which is why sometimes it'll overreact a bit. Because I can certainly tell you right now that it is not 69 degrees here in Mitchell County, North Carolina. It is definitely not 69 degrees. And looks like Nicholas just uploaded his Goodbye 2019 compilation. Way to steal my name for the compilations, Nicholas! I mean, what? But anyways. Oh, yeah. Not to mention, GSP failed the weekly test! I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, the thermometer, safe to say, it works on this radio. Surprisingly, considering how ancient this thing is. But this is just an assumption. I think Radio Shack might have gotten a little bit of inspiration from Grundig, Eton, whoever owned this radio at the time. I think it's Eton, but this is just an assumption, like I said. I think it's safe to say, okay, that Eton, or Grundig, got inspiration, Radio Shack got inspiration from Eton or Grundig because of the thermometer that they put on this radio. And then I think that's what made them implement it on future models like the 12-255, the 259, and the 522, because all three of those radios, they have their own thermometers. The 255's thermometer is external and wireless, but still. It also has an inbuilt thermometer, like a built-in thermometer still. It has two thermometers. But I also think that Radio Shack might have gotten a little bit of inspiration from Eton or Grundig. Just a theory. But yeah, pretty useful feature, if you ask me. Now we're going to get into the last feature. That is the headphone jack. Okay, we are now back inside at my desk, and we're going to test out the headphone jack and see if it actually works. Because to tell you the truth, I haven't actually tested this out yet. So if I move that broken jack out of the way and plug it in. Alright. I'm going to tune to... actually, wait. There we go. I'm going to tune to 106.9 WMIT. Holy crap, it works. Wow, it's definitely stereo. Here. I know you can barely hear that, but it is stereo. It is a stereo microphone, or not a microphone, stereo headphones. Well, I mean...
microphone now.
Well, my phone has a stereo microphone, so I could just use that as an excuse if I wanted to.
That is true. Your phone is okay. Okay, I see how you are, Michael.
At least I'm slicker than Dickolas. Wait, what?
He was never slick to begin with.
Just like how you were never slick about fucking Damien. Wait, what?
He was.
See, she can't handle it. She's getting exposed.
He has never said anything.
Oh, really? Oh, real? I call bullshit on that. But anyways, yeah. It does provide stereo sound. Both earbuds work on it. So that means the headphone jack is working properly. That's nice. Now, if I turn this off 1 minute and go back to the AM band, or actually turn it off entirely, but yeah, this radio actually legit. It's legit. It actually has its own stereo headphone jack. Now, for a radio like this made in 1999, that is pretty cool and revolutionary too for its time. Then again, it is an Eton. They always try to do something different, but anyways, that's just how they are. Nothing wrong with that. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the final thoughts of this radio, shall we? So, in conclusion of the Eton Grundig ESP2100, I think it's an okay radio, but it's also very valuable because it's very rare. This is the only one they had on eBay. Only one. I was lucky to get this. Very lucky. Along with the WX500, thanks to Ari. But this I found by myself. I was lucky to get this radio. I'm going to treat this thing with the utmost respect and care because I do not want this thing to die. I do not want this thing to die at all. Because I'll tell you the truth, when you get a rare radio like this, if you really care about which ones you own.
Just like I'm going to take good care of my WX500. And just how I wish the previous owner of the 5.2 I bought actually took good care of it, but no. Fucking smoking ass. Man, that thing smell like fucking cigarettes.
This one does not smell like cigarettes. It never smelled like cigarettes to begin with. So that's a good thing. This thing was pampered. Sure, it has a few scratches here and there, but it was pampered. He still kept the headphone jack on it. The cover.
Still waiting on the weekly.
Still kept the jack cover, which is saying something. But, yeah. The only thing I don't like that he did was write Channel 2 on the back of the radio. Then again, this radio did come from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I'm sure that Channel 2 is possibly the main transmitter for Minneapolis. I'm not entirely sure if it's on 162.425 megahertz. But I have no idea why the hell would he would write that for any other reason, but
yeah.
But yeah. This radio does have a lot of features. It is promising. The build quality makes it extremely lousy, though. The speaker quality is decent. So is the reception and the antenna, as well as the AM/FM tuning. And the ability to plug in stereo headphones. I'd say it's a pretty revolutionary radio, especially for what it is. I like the look and feel to it. It's a bit bulky, I'll admit. But considering how rare this is, I'm not going to complain. So anyway, without further ado, I think that concludes this final episode of Radio Reviews for the 2019 season, if you want to say that. Because we're... Yep, the last Radio Reviews episode of the decade. And later on, 2020 will greet us. And we will rock 2020. Right here in my room with all 33 now weather radios going off. Or is it 32? Is this my 32nd or 33rd weather radio? I know this is one. I keep losing count every time I get a new radio. But I am holding one in my hand, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Oh, it's my 33rd radio. Oh, wait, never mind. 32nd. It is my 32nd. Yeah, 32nd. So I have 32 weather radios now. My bad. But yeah. We are going to be rocking 2020 as soon as midnight strikes. Here in my room with all 32 of my weather radios going off right at midnight. Confetti's gonna fly everywhere. Music is gonna blare through the stereo. This is gonna be one hell of a celebration. So, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like on it, as well as a comment down below to describe your feelings on how you enjoyed this radio reviews episode, or looking at this radio. Also, make sure...
I'm Carl Azus, and this is CNN.
Also, make sure to subscribe to Derpy Fire Alarms, NorCal Dude 599, Thunder Buddy 01, Radioactive Girl 00, and EAS Alert 88. Their channels will be in the description of this video below. And thank you guys for watching so much. This is Clay Ranger 143, signing out. Wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year of 2020. Let's do this. I'm ready. Are you?
I'm ready.
Considering how long